Hey, what's up, guys? Boxing with B. So let's talk Chocolatito versus Julio Cesar Martinez. First off, let's talk about what first came up where there was a possibility that this fight was not going to happen. And that's because Julio Cesar Martinez came in overweight, which is a little bit shocking because he went up. He was going up to fight Chocolatito. But I mean, things happen. Chocolatito was okay with it. He was like, I'm still going to fight him. But the California State Athletic Commission was at the end of the day, they were going to have the final say if he came in two over the next day. But long story short, I mean, the fight happened. Just touching on making weight, so many people have so many things to say about fighters making weight. And I'm not saying that, I'm not defending Martinez at all. Making weight, if you've seen, I've talked about this before, Mikey Garcia, there was an HBO special, it was 2 days on Mikey Garcia, and he was coming in for a fight, trying to make weight, and he still had to cut some weight. And they show him go into an elevator. And in the elevator, he's throwing up. He's facing the what is it? What would you say? The repercussions of putting your body through these difficult things to do just to make that weight. So making weight is, I would say, the biggest challenge for a lot of fighters. And credit to them. But in this case, yes, he came in overweight, but the fight went on. Okay, so let's talk about the fight. Martinez is an explosive fighter. But in this fight, I think Chocolatito just showed his experience. He was patient. Like I said, he was going to be patient going into this fight. He was patient. He has such a tight guard. Martinez was explosive. He was throwing everything. He would throw combinations that got the audience, riled up. Everybody was going crazy. But the percentage that landed was not very high compared to when Chocolatito would throw. There was even a point where Julio Cesar Martinez dropped his hands and said, let's go, come on. And Chocolatito went in and landed. It definitely didn't play to Martinez's favor in the later rounds. But you know what? Credit to Martinez because he always says, vamos con todo menos con miedo, which means like, let's go with everything minus the fear. We're not going to go in there with any fear. And I think, he plays to his saying. He went in all 12 rounds. Not once did I see him, kind of looked like he was just going to throw in the towel and be like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. No, we saw him go at it and he even dropped his hands. He was tired, but he would still throw. And Martinez is that fighter that when he gets hurt, a lot of fighters, if they're hurt, they'll start backing up. They'll, try to take some time for themselves, back up. No, Martinez, when he gets hurt, he comes at you. But Chocolatito is just so smart. Every time he throws, his guards back up immediately. It was a great fight, but it just showed, it was a great learning experience for Julio Cesar Martinez. Now, let me ask you guys this. Do you think that Martinez should stay at this weight or should he go back down? In my opinion, he could stay at this weight if he wants to. But things to think about is if he stays here, he fought Chocolatito. Chocolatito is a living legend. In this weight, he's considered one of the older ones of this division. Him, Estrada, so Rungvisai, Cuadras. And then you have the younger ones. You have Bam Rodriguez now. You have Joshua Franco, Andrew Maloney. So you have these guys and more that I didn't even mention. But you have these guys in this division. If Julio Cesar Martinez stays here, will he have the same power that he had at the lower division? I don't know. I guess maybe we'll have to see if he stays here. But I think right now, maybe he should go back down, stay in that division, take on the big fights, and then maybe consider coming back up if that's still in his path. But at the moment, I think there's a lot of competition in this weight division. So if I were him, I might go back down. Let me know if you guys agree or not. If you guys think he should stay here. Do you think that if he stays here at 115, that he's going to have that knockout power? Maybe you think he's going to make those adjustments. And if so, who would you want to see him fight next? Would you want to see that rematch with him and Chocolatito? Or would you want to see him against, let's say, Bam Rodriguez, because they're both from a lighter division? Let me know what you guys think. So before we close this out, another fight that I just want to touch on that I completely forgot to mention before was Mauricio Lara. So Mauricio Lara fought against Emilio Sanchez. That fight is like the definition of Mexican style. Like, when we've seen Triple G and he says, I fight Mexican style, which means we're going to see a brawl. We're going to see two fighters go toe-to-toe and exchange big shots. That's what we saw with Lara. Lara has become one of my favorites after seeing him go to England and fight against the champ. He fought Josh Warrington. And even more so, the bigger spectrum is that Lara was the hand-picked fighter. Let's just hand-pick this guy out of Mexico, throw him in against our champion, just so that we could see like a tune-up fight, an easy fight for Josh Warrington. Little did they know that they chose the wrong guy. Lara was so explosive in that fight. And it was kind of like odds were stacked against him. The crowd, the atmosphere was just all Warrington. So to see that performance from Lara was just tremendous. It was a great performance. And then you see him go in the rematch, the same kind of mindset. It looked like he was going to have that, but it stopped due to accidental headbutt. Caused a cut, stopped the fight. So that kind of background has already made me a fan of his. And then you see him go into this fight, and he engages with Emilio Sanchez. Emilio Sanchez put on a great performance as well. He only had one loss on his record. He went in there. I mean, I think he was 3 years older than Lara, but it's still close in age right there. He went in. He was ready to exchange. At one point, he threw maybe 3 uppercuts that went through the guard of Lara. And it was just a fight that had you on the edge of your seat. It was a great fight. If you missed it, go at least watch the highlights right now. But credit to Lara. He got the atmosphere going. He put on this great performance. He was exactly what we had seen with Warrington. He exchanged toe-to-toe, and then he finished Sanchez in the 3rd round. But like I said, if you're new to watching Mauricio Lara, search him up. At least search up that first Warrington fight, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see the exciting factor that I'm talking about. Before you guys click on any other video, be sure to click that subscribe button. Also, be sure to follow at Boxing with B on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you're on the go, be sure to listen to the Boxing with B podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Fight.
Breaking news.
This is the guy that's going to give him the biggest fight.
And then guess what?
Fight.